unknown.
We are going straight up Elsa Frozen 2 into the unknown. I did cut into that budget a little bit so that we won't have to go get back out.
I'm freaking out.
Nobody really knows what's about to happen.
Oh, I would imagine the divorce rate's gonna increase. The mental illnesses may show their nasty heads after all this is said and done.
When you panic, you overcorrect. This is an example of how in any job, something completely unpredictable can happen.
And wash your damn hands.
Right? And stay the F home.
Yes. What's
Hey,
up,
y'all.
guys? Welcome back to another vlogcast.
How about
here
that?
on Cullen and Katie. My name is Cullen, this is my wife Katie. We've been vlogging and casting.
Like actual vlogs lately. If
Yeah.
you've been missing it, our kids have been home from school, as I'm sure many of your kids are. Everybody is just kind of hanging out at their house. We're super glad and fortunate to be able to continue doing this from our home. We're kind of having to figure out what a new normal routine is because usually the kids are at school. And as much as it sounds like a fabulous idea to just like, oh, well, when they're sleeping or when they're napping or when they're rest timing, then you can do everything. You know, that just doesn't always work out that way. So
It's been a different speed of pace of speed, different pace, different speed. I don't know. It's like
a different change of pace, I think is
change
what
of pace,
you're
thank
looking
you.
for. Yes, to kind of slow down a little bit. I don't know, there's still a little lot of, I wouldn't say panic, but like, oh crap, I hope this all still goes okay and we still got to figure out how to make videos and do business stuff because we're running a business. But
I think I was on the other side of the coin thinking it's like hectic almost when during the day having to take care of them. Like this morning I was like, it feels like they need something every 2 seconds, but yesterday they were playing by themselves. I don't know, I guess it goes day to day.
Well, I think we'll all kind of get used to it. I think they're used to any days they are home when they're not at school is like a Saturday or a Sunday or a day when we are just super family involved. And I mean, we have been definitely over the past few days still too, but I think they're kind of gonna realize they don't want to be around us every second either, and that they're gonna have to figure some things out for themselves. So I think it's all overall gonna be a good experience. We could probably make a full video on that, and maybe we will if y'all want to hear kind of how we're dealing with it. But right now we've started like in the mid-morning time. They watch a little educational show. They're watching Word Girl right now. They've liked watching Super Why. They have some time where they can just sit and watch a show. But during the day, shows are educational shows. So that's what they're doing right now. Hopefully they won't come interrupt. We'll see.
We gave them the talk.
Yes. While they're doing that, we just kind of want to talk a little bit about how this whole thing has affected our baby step process, how it's affected our budget, and what we're kind of doing about the fact that things are a little bit unpredictable and crazy right now.
Into the unknown.
We are going straight up Elsa Frozen 2 into the unknown. I guess for starters, well, I don't know if it's even the big one because it's something that happens as you're doing baby steps and you know, it happens, but we are just kind of pausing our debt snowball, pausing our baby steps, pausing our debt payoff right now. Not completely, obviously. We still do want to make minimum payments. I'm just thankful that we're kind of a couple months into this. We're able to have seen how things go for, I guess, one full month, part of March and part of January, just to kind of see what we have been able to pay off, what our minimum payments will be, and then the extra money we've been putting towards the snowball. For right now, we're going to move over to savings just to have a little backup because nobody really knows what's about to happen. Should everything be good, it's not gonna be put there to just like blow and spend. It's gonna be put there until things kind of, we know what's happening in the world.
Until the toilet paper restocks.
Right, and until the world opens
yourselves.
back up and
Yeah.
everybody can go to work. And I heard Dave Ramsey do a couple videos on this in the meantime, like, don't touch your
Retirement.
401k, don't touch your, like, don't freak out and take money out of somewhere.
Oh God, I could go into a whole nother topic on this too, about making crazy decisions in a time of turmoil.
He had a good video on that when you panic, you overcorrect. He gave the example of literally that same day, him driving his car and almost getting in a wreck and overcorrecting, pull away from the person and almost hitting the wall. And so sometimes instead of just hitting the car, you overcorrect and end up with a bigger mess.
Right.
And that kind of made me stop and think too about like our house situation, the video we made not long ago about should we take out a loan to like afford to blah, blah, blah. Cause we were just kind of like, oh my gosh, we have to get out of here.
And then 2 days later, we're getting told everything shutting down, you know, like
with another full new loan, and I don't know. Because we do what we do online, it's like, oh, well, y'all can still work, so you don't have anything to be worried about. I do feel very fortunate that that's somewhat true, but with like literally offices shutting down, people losing business. So for example, say you're an advertiser on YouTube, Coca-Cola. Okay, so people are not buying Coca-Cola as much. Their employees aren't able to come into work. They're losing revenue because people aren't out at the stores, out at ballparks, out at all the places buying their products. So is their revenue decreasing? So then their advertising budget decreases.
Is there even a reason for them to have to advertise anymore? Like,
right, well, and I'm not even talking about them. I'm talking about all the, that's one example. Even when you think about a smaller advertiser, you know, sometimes we work with smaller brands that aren't huge corporations. And so their advertising budget is based on how much income they get. And so if income gets cut, you kind of have to cut your advertising budget sometimes. What I'm saying is that while obviously we can still keep making these videos, the way that we make money on them is because of advertisers. Other ways to make money on it are doing, like a lot of people do, Patreon and have viewers contribute. However, a lot of people right now are out of work and people are saving their money, so nobody's gonna wanna contribute there, right. You know? So regardless,
big economic cycle
nobody
of
knows.
mess, yeah.
And this is just the very first week of all of this, like major quarantine stuff. So nobody knows where it's gonna go. We are just going to continue to trust that things are gonna work out. We're gonna continue working as hard as we can and doing what we can. And I think the best thing is to make minimum payments, but take extra money, put it in savings. Like I said, don't spend it, so that say we get to 2 months down the road, everything is totally back to normal, the economy is just totally fine and everything's good, then we'll go, awesome, now we've got all this extra money, we're just gonna go ahead and take it out of savings that we've put aside and put it towards the debt payment. Yeah. It's not like we're saying, oh, we're gonna take all this money and spend it on something stupid.
It's hard to even process any of it, like even think that far in advance too, because it's just, I guess for me, I've been so kind of naive about it all. Like, oh yeah, whatever, it'll blow over. Seeing you go to Sam's that one day, like this is like so serious, incredibly serious now, so freaking out mentally, but also freaking out with your money can be crucial, ruin everything. I don't know, I'm freaking out.
Part of me too has thought, well, like, if you're gonna end up putting that money towards debt anyway, then why don't you go ahead and pay it, because the less debt you have, then the more financial struggle you're gonna have. But you need like dispensable, expendable, whatever the word is, cash that you can use. Like, should something come up and like we're not getting paid, we're gonna need to be able to buy our food. I would rather have some money that is not being paid towards debt that I can use for that in that situation. Yeah. And I think obviously the whole situation is serious as far as the medical side, but we're kind of here talking about the financial side of it too. My mind gets so overwhelmed even thinking of the general economic impact. The number of people that are without extra pay that they usually make, the number of not just people who have regular jobs where, like, say for example you work at like McDonald's and your shifts are cut. I'm talking like all the restaurants and all the people that rely every year on St. Patrick's Day income.
I'm sure people have seen it in your own personal neighborhood Facebooks, but like we're having people post on our personal neighborhood Facebook saying this local mom and pop business or shop or restaurant is doing takeout, call your orders in, because they're realizing how bad it's gonna hurt financially. There are
small business like grants and stuff that our city is doing. Like, if you have a small business and you're in trouble right now, apply for this. Or anybody out there, if you've lost your job because of this or losing hours, you can file for unemployment. And while that's like, oh, that's great and helpful, but that money is coming from somewhere. And the United States is in so much debt itself already. It's like, that's not money that isn't impacting someplace that it's coming from anyway. We were just reading an article about our Alabama beaches on the coast have been closed. And it was talking about how, sure, this is gonna ruin people's vacations and spring break and whatever, but the state relies so much on the spring break income. Like every year, it's kind of like us as influencers, we get the majority of our advertising money in December, because December is just a huge advertising month. So we have to plan to kind of make that stretch for a couple months, because January is really slow. I mean, it's kind of like Christmas comes every year. That's how it goes. And so we plan for that. March Madness comes every year. And so businesses plan for, okay, in March, we know our income will increase in that month. So when that's not there as a business and you've calculated it in, because there's no way it's not gonna happen.
Not only have you calculated it in, but you you probably already got the shipments of extra food and merchandise being delivered, already delivered.
You have to plan ahead.
I mean, you were prepped, so you're out that money now. Like you're upside down because one, you didn't see it coming, two, you've already got the stuff there and you can't get rid of it.
It's the stuff you can't plan for. You know, when people are like, y'all should just get real jobs because YouTube is not predictable. We're not gonna get into that whole conversation, but I would just, this is an example of how in any job, something completely unpredictable can happen.
The building or the house can catch on fire.
Yes.
And everything can be lost. Happens to be something this small this time, a little virus.
A little dang virus.
A little microscopic organism.
Thing. First point, like we said, is that we're pausing our extra debt payoff. We're gonna continue making the minimum payments that we are committed to make. The rest of the extra money left over at the end of the month, we're gonna try to have as much of that. We're still cutting budget, kind of nice because we can't go anywhere. So we're not gonna be spending money on, you know, doing any activities or anything like that. The second part of it is kind of like, how are we handling what we had budgeted for March and how are we gonna handle our April budget? I will say that, you know, doing what we do, our April money comes from the money we made in February. The end of March, like April 1st, we get paid with money that was basically from what we did in February. So generally, our April income shouldn't be impacted by that, but we need to especially be extra careful with it. With all of the kind of stocking up on groceries and stuff, I just was like feeling really strongly about, I don't really, not that I don't care, but in this time, there's places that have talked about shutting down stores or, you know,
like what's next,
whatever else.
Restaurants,
so what if we can't get to the store, and if there are non-perishable things that we can stock up on? Fortunately, we had those gift cards that we got from our credit card company that we talked about a while back, and so we already had those set aside into our April grocery budget. And so I took a couple of those and went ahead and bought extra certain things that we would need to last a long time instead of just buying a month's worth. I did cut into that budget a little bit so that we won't have to go get back out. I mean, whether the store's closed or not, we don't want to have to get back out.
Yeah, and that was another thing, not having interaction with people and not having the stores open. I think we were at that time, we were like, we just need to stock up. It was one of those like internal freak modes, but still I think it was rational.
No, it definitely is, because I think it's not like we went and bought a bunch of stuff for, you know, same day usage, as much as it was like, this is set aside for April, so let's go ahead and buy the products that we will need in April for that. You know, grits, for example, we're in Alabama, so we eat grits. But so usually I've been buying, you know, just enough to last for the 2 weeks or the 1 month during the time period of before we go back to the grocery store. But I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and buy enough that should last through April too. You know, so
even dog food was sold out online.
And obviously toilet paper, everybody knows that. We still have only found 2 extra rolls this whole time. And it sucks because we happen to just be out. I bought a massive pack at Sam's in December, and it just is, we're on our last roll of that.
Oh my gosh.
We're rationing the toilet paper. So I am planning to still kind of budget the April money, obviously minus the gift cards that I've used, which I think I only ended up using not even $100 of it. It's not like I took our entire grocery budget from April and used it, maybe $100. I had left a cushion in our checking account, which was nice because the day I went to Sam's and the line was literally to the freaking back of the store. It was crazy. And it would have taken like probably an hour to check out, but you could do the little scan and go app on your phone, but you had to pay with a debit card. I had part cash and part gift cards to use, and I couldn't use those. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna have to use the debit card. I know it's there, and then I'll take the cash and deposit it.
Yeah.
So I did that. As far as the rest of our envelopes, I don't think I've touched anything else April. Oh, and then when I went to Aldi, I think I went a little bit over the cash that we had because I was just like, I would just rather have this than not have it. So again, I used the cushion in the debit card, which we'll kind of put back once the April money comes in. In general, like as a mid-month update on our envelopes and stuff, I think we're like, you know, we're doing
pretty
good.
Yeah.
Like we haven't run out of stuff. I think we've got...
Used one of the Amazon gift cards from that point system to get some Orbeez.
Yes, and if y'all need something to entertain your kids that will probably provide you way more than you even really think in terms of hours of quiet time, these water beads, I'll put a link in the description to the ones we got. They're $6.99 for a bag, and the bag's like this big, but it makes a crap ton.
Do not pour them all in the same
Do not
bowl.
use them all at once. I used 2 tablespoons full of the beads, like 2 tablespoons full, and it made a massive bowl like this big.
But
and
again,
they had so much fun with
I saw
it.
a link, or you sent me or showed me something about Amazon stopping shipping for medical
They're
supplies.
stopping shipping except for high requested items or something.
And we'd already ordered those.
Right, so I'm not sure what all is not going to be. There's a lot of stuff that's also not available on Amazon.
The uncertainty of
Yeah,
it all is just incredible.
It's crazy. So you've used, as far as the Amazon gift cards, so far you've used them for fish food, fish salt. I bought the kids, or Brooks, some new water bottles because his water bottles were leaking into his school bag every day. And I've tried for 2 months to figure out a way to make it work. It didn't happen. Some makeup that I needed that is only available on Amazon. That's a whole nother story. They discontinued it, blah, blah. And then the Orbeez. So as far as the Amazon gift cards, I feel like we have done a good job with using those for things that are necessary. As far as like our fun envelope, we've got a good bit of that left.
See, I'm freaking out even like wanting to touch money now. Even though
I know, you're like, what the heck?
It's like, oh.
Grocery is gone because the plan is to not have to go back out to the grocery store again until the end of the month. Health envelope that we use for like prescriptions and stuff still has some money in it. I haven't talked about that. I need to make a video about my hormones and stuff. Actually, I think I'm gonna make that on my channel. So y'all stay tuned. If I can get into my closet and film something. Our miscellaneous envelope. Oh, I still have $25 of that in my wallet that I took out to use and haven't used it yet. We've still got money in beauty because I use the Amazon gift card. So that's still fully stocked. So the good thing about this is that when we do our April envelopes and stuff, we will not have to add more to some of these. Like eating out, have we even touched it? I don't think
so.
we did. No, we haven't touched it since we refilled it at the beginning of March. We have not eaten out or ordered out or anything.
Now you can't because all the restaurants are shut down.
I know. Well, I was gonna say we picked up food. Like we really haven't done anything. Look at us. Go us. We're 19 days in.
And what was our last year comparison? Like $800
something
eating
crazy.
out?
Pets fund. I think we used some of it for something.
Cat food?
Oh, we bought a big old bag of cat food. That was in the Walmart haul. School extras. Never got that money back. I had actually sent $10 for a field trip that got canceled. Car maintenance. Still haven't got the car serviced, but there's money in there that we're saving up for. And I think that's it. So most of our envelopes still have money remaining in them at this point, which is good. I'm just so glad we started doing this when we did.
Everything kind of happens for a reason. You don't realize it until it starts to happen. And I guess the biggest thing is just the fact that we've kind of realized what's important. And kind of like what Rachel and Hollis and Dave were talking about this morning. Like the past week has like really made us center our thinking and take into consideration what's actually important. Money and savings to survive, having enough food on the table, having your 4 walls established, and not freaking out.
If you are like struggling right now as far as not having a job or whatever else, I would encourage you to go look at, I'm sure Dave's posted stuff other places, but I know specifically his Instagram, he gives some tips for people in those situations. He also just gives some encouragement that we will get through this. And I know a lot of times when you're in a situation like this, it feels like, for one, it's gonna last forever. And it's always gonna be like, oh crap, we're stuck in our houses for literally the rest of our days. Who knows, we might be, but no, I mean, we won't. And in a couple years, we'll look back and talk about this and what happened and how we handled it. Looking to that point, you realize
there's brighter days after the storm, I think is one of the most, Dave Ramsey, not Dave Hollis, but.
Oh yeah, sorry, Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
Dave Hollis has good inspirational stuff
too.
But
after every storm is a
And the storm may last for a while, and that's the part we don't know. And while we're deciding to pause our extra debt payoff, we don't know what the economical impact is gonna be. And instead of panicking and worrying about it, we're just doing what we can to be prepared. And that's what we feel is the best thing to do, to be prepared right now.
Leave us a comment and let us know what you're doing to be prepared and if it's impacted y'all. All the comments on some of the vlogs that we've posted recently, either one, you're still having to work, or your husband or spouse or whoever's losing their job, and lots of transitional
adjusting to the new normal of having to like live 24/7 in a house with your spouse that you may have been spending 40, 60, 80 hours a week apart from. I posted a video about that on my Instagram TV, so you can see it like in my feed. I also posted it on Facebook, and it was just some things that I felt were helpful as far as like dealing with that.
I would imagine the divorce rate's going to increase. The mental illnesses may show their nasty heads after all this is said and done. I'm
honestly really worried about that. I have a video I keep thinking about that I want to make for my channel too. I mean, if you're dealing with mental illness, feeling trapped inside your house, especially if you already are having relationship problems or parent-child problems or whatever else, that work was your escape or whatever was your escape.
Your normal routine of getting out of the house every morning to escape, do it again the next day is completely gone now.
It can feel very hopeless. And there is I saw somebody post, which it's always there, but like there's people talk about the suicide hotline or the emergency help hotline, but now, since it's 2020, there's numbers like that you can text and immediately get a response back. I know I personally wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable just calling somebody and be like, hey, here's my story, I'm struggling. But you can text somebody. I think using those services, if they're needed, finding a way to like get some mental help or looking into something like that. Obviously you can't go in, but there's services like BetterHelp online. There's all kinds of options. And then these like suicide hotline and all that are free services. And I think it's really important to be aware of that. And to some people who have never dealt with those types of feelings or those types of situations, that may seem very extreme to say this is gonna lead to that. And everybody should just deal with it and be thankful that you have your family. But it's not that easy when you're depressed or when you have anxiety or other issues. Take it seriously, give yourself a break. Don't feel like you gotta teach your kids everything they're supposed to know for the remainder of the school year in the next week.
And wash your damn hands.
Right? And stay the F home.
Yes, literally. Thanks for watching, guys. Give this video a thumbs up. Check out the vlogs that we posted. They're more like daily vlog style type fun stuff. I'll leave a link in the description or a card.
Let us know what you want to see from us right now, because it's kind of a weird time. Like, do you enjoy seeing more just us at home and chilling with the kids and what we're doing and how we're getting through it? Or what budget questions do you have?
Like spending money right now.
Not going anywhere, not doing anything fancy. But let us know what you like to see and go watch some old videos, because one, it'll keep you entertained, and two, it'll help us out, right?
Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.
Bye.